Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning, SKN.
Good morning, SKN.
Good morning.
Strange face next to me. She'll introduce herself shortly, but I'm sure she doesn't need that much of an introduction. I am Jamie Morris, and...
And I'm Alicia Daniel Blake. Jamie, you know, I'm the guest host. I'm filling in for Mimi. You know how that makes me feel?
Uh-oh. You're going to tell me that you feel like you're cheating on Mimi now?
Yeah, because Mimi is usually in this spot. So she is usually your other host. So now I'm in her spot for Good Morning SKN, and I just feel terrible.
You feel terrible? Don't worry about it. What she doesn't know can't hurt her. She's not here to see it.
Oh my, did you hear that, viewers? He is quite content with that. I'm the one feeling bad.
Well, I'm pretty sure she'll prefer for me to be absent and you to be her co-host, so we never know what the future holds, Alicia.
So today, viewers, our weather is partly cloudy with a 50% or a moderate chance of showers. So possibly not as much rain as yesterday. I think that's a good thing.
I like the rain. I've said that. I like the rain. So I love the sun too, but I prefer a little shade now and then. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get rain tomorrow.
Yeah. So we go directly into what's happening.
The latest.
The latest.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you have the first story on the local scene, don't you?
Yes.
All right.
And of course, viewers, it's about the budget or the appropriation bill. And Prime Minister Harris presented a $950 million budget.
Wow.
That will be put the federation's economy back on track. So we see Prime Minister Harris, who is also the Minister of Finance, he laid before the National Assembly the Appropriation Bill 2022-2021, and he noted that this will put us back on track. It was presented at a sitting of the National Assembly held at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort yesterday.
Recent news.
Yesterday. And it will provide for the services of St. Christopher and Nevis for the financial year commencing the 1st of January 2022 and ending on the 31st of December of that same year.
All right.
Right. So that's a large amount, Jamie.
A very large amount. Hopefully
$952 million.
Million dollars. Gigantic
Right.
amount.
Right.
Go ahead. Are you done? Sorry.
Right. So before we go any further, we'd like our viewers to have a look at this video.
Oh, awesome.
Great. So, Jamie, that's excellent news for civil servants.
I am missing the time when I was a civil servant because Santa would have been coming to my couch. But hey, you know, congratulations to all of you hard workers out there who kept us afloat during trying times. All right, so we're moving on to other news on the local scene. Guess what, everyone? In 2022, the music festival that we know and love is coming back to our shores after a 2-year, I think it was, Alicia, hiatus. We are resuming, at least for now, we're planning to resume in 2022. And of course, that's really good news. The Minister of Tourism is excited about that, particularly because it drives our economy. It drives tourists to our shores. And for those of you who are wondering who will be on that lineup, apparently those artists that were billed to come to the last organized music festival, some of them will be recurring, but there is also room for some new artists as well. So very exciting news for those of you who like that, like me. Music fan, Alicia?
Oh, yes. I love music. I love some of the artists who should have appeared previously.
Right.
One that comes to mind is actually Coffee.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I like her. She's young. She's upcoming. I like the kind of vibe. I like the sounds of her music.
Yeah.
I really like that one. Any favorites for you?
The message too. Fan lines, but Coffee takes the cake for me. Sorry.
Coffee takes the cake. Breakfast, coffee.
Good one.
There we go. So we also have an upgrade of the Nevis sporting facilities, and this was announced by Honorable Eric Evelyn, who is the minister responsible for youth and sports. in the Nevis Island administration. So he said, I'm happy to see that the sporting facilities in Nevis, those that do not have lights will be getting lights. And he's proud to say that they're outfitting the fields with lights. And they'll also do a retrofit project as well. And so the fields that currently have lights, they'll be getting new energy using LED lights. So awesome. That's something good for Nevis.
Hey, sports, you're injecting funds into sports. A lot of us need sports. A lot of us love sports. We're sick it's in Nevis after all. So.
Yeah. And we also need to keep fit.
Well, that is an important part. You heard Mimi mention yesterday, maybe the exercise not so much. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, with sports, you're competing and having fun and not even realizing sometimes that you're exercising.
Absolutely. So, hey, great news. This brings us to the end of the local segment of the latest. We'll be back with regional and international news right after this. Stay tuned.
Check me area code, direct me area code. Anywhere me go, you know me touch the road like this, touch up the road like this, touch up the place like this, touch up the stage like this, like this. Come rep your place, rep your flag, where you're from, who you are. The world is a stage, so showcase like a star. We little but we digging that we come from far. Then we take it to the world, so like a real damn. So we roll, yeah, that's how we roll, yeah. High performance anytime we touch the road, yeah, that's how we roll.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are continuing bringing you the latest this morning, and we have the latest in regional news coming out of Trinidad and Tobago. And it features one of those words that I'm a little afraid to say. It begins with the word P, ends with I. It's Ponzi, or Ponzi, depending on who you talk to. It's a Ponzi scheme, and it concerns heavy fines being imposed for what is known also as a pyramid scheme or a Ponzi scheme in Trinidad and Tobago. We know that the Minister of Finance, Colm Ilbert, said recently concerning Finance Bill number 2 that there will be harsh penalties for those who operate, who participate, or advertise in Ponzi or pyramid schemes, which are defined in legislation as prohibited schemes. So it's very interesting to note, Alicia, that apparently there is no specific legislation that actually addresses Ponzi schemes by way of criminalizing them. But they're found in various sections of legislation, but there's actually no single one. So this one that imposes harsher penalties for that. And I want to tell you very quickly what they are, in fact. There is a fine of $10 million and imprisonment for 10 years. Can you imagine that? For a person who establishes or operates a Ponzi scheme or pyramid scheme. And yeah, about half of that, $5 million and imprisonment for 5 years for anyone who participates in a Ponzi scheme. So news coming out of Trinidad and Tobago, harsh line there.
Right. So and these Ponzi schemes, sometimes we find that persons invest their money in them, and then the person in charge of it disappears. So I think it's actually a protection.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the residents.
Have you ever gotten those weird calls on your phone? Because I swear I got one from Nigeria the other day. Prank calls or whatever. You know those calls when they call and they tell you you win something, or you just have to submit personal details and so on? Definitely have to warn the viewers about that. Please be very careful.
Be careful. They even come via email sometimes. You'll have this email saying that if you submit your bank account number, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
scary stuff.
Now on to the international news. We have out of the Philippines, Rodrigo Duterte, who is the president there, has withdrawn his candidacy for a Senate seat, according to a spokesman for the country's election commission. In a post, James Jimenez said the president has filed his withdrawal from the senatorial elections. Now, this president, he's 76 years old, and he's actually constitutionally barred from seeking a second 6-year term as president. His current term ends in June.
Wow.
So this is a political issue that the Philippines are dealing with right now.
I was actually thinking 76 is not that old. I mean, when we compare it with other politicians that we've seen, not necessarily in our waters, but other politicians elsewhere, 76 seems to be kind of young. So the constitutional issue that bars him from seeking that term is quite interesting.
It's interesting, because I think I can actually recall Robert Mugabe out of Zimbabwe. I think he was older than 76.
Okay, exactly.
Right.
Well, politics changes depending on where you go. We know that very well here in St. Kitts and Nevis and in our Western Hemisphere as well. So interesting news coming out of that region. It makes me wonder, if I were to get a look at the laws or the constitutions, what they would mean for people like us if we were to implement some of those constitutional limits or term limits or whatever we call it.
Yeah, because I think locally we know them as term limits.
Yes.
And the matter had been brought into Parliament, but I think it never followed through. It never was passed.
Interesting.
Right, yes.
Well, I guess I don't know that we have to worry about that necessarily, because I think in terms of changing powers, or people generally change powers after, I think Dr. Douglas was the longest sitting prime minister, 20 years, right, in our region. So I guess there's a shift in power after a while.
Well, we all have to wait and see what happens.
Absolutely. And as luck would have it, there's a shift in power today, because you're sitting next to me and Mimi isn't. So here you go.
I have to say, like Mimi, I'm not quite a feminist. I'm not on the level of Mimi, but I do believe that women have certain things that we should be allowed to.
Well, hey, I love everybody. I love women. I'm glad that you're sitting here today, and we're going to have some fun for this edition of Good Morning SKN. If you just joined us and you were wondering who this lovely lady is sitting next to me,
I'm Alicia Daniel Blake, and there you have it. That's the latest for today, and we'll be right back.
The St. Kitts Diabetes Association wants to encourage you to remember the association's gospel, abbreviated TEAM, in order to maintain good control of your diabetes. T, you must test your blood sugar regularly. E, you must eat right with decent quantities of vegetables and fruits and eliminate sugary products. E, you must exercise frequently, at least 4 to 6 times weekly for 30 minutes or more each time. And M, you must take your medication as prescribed by your healthcare provider. If you follow this gospel, you will significantly reduce your chances of encountering the dreaded complications associated with poor control of diabetes, namely kidney failure, blindness, heart disease, stroke, and amputations. Visit your healthcare provider regularly to ensure good control of your diabetes and to access early intervention in case of any unexpected complications. Come and join the St. Kitts Diabetes Association and add your voice and your efforts to those working to ease the burden of persons living with diabetes. Thank you.
Welcome back.
It's time now for Talk of the Town. COVID-19 has affected many things. One of those things in particular is jobs. To survive, many had to find sustainable ways of making an income to stock up on essential things. The arrival of COVID-19 saw a rise in unemployment. Businesses could not operate as usual, some were closed completely, and others were forced to lay off staff. Persons who were confident that their jobs were secure found themselves searching for employment. Today, this segment is for those of you who may still be hunting for jobs, indeed hunting for jobs, Alicia,
yes,
during this pandemic. So we're talking all about the job hunt and all about those people who might have lost jobs during COVID.
Yes, and we know that it's a sad situation because St. Kitts and Nevis, we rely primarily on the tourism industry.
Yes.
And some of those jobs have not come back up fully or have not even come back as yet.
It's a scary thing because when I think of everything that happened during the pandemic, in particular, those vendors, for instance, I know it might be a bit of a contentious issue, and I'm not saying it for it to be, but those vendors, I think I recall being in town when they were being relocated, and there was a food truck vendor who was actually pleading with the movers. He said to them, but I'm a family man. I have rent to pay. I have children in school, and if I'm relocated, it might affect what I have to do. Of course, we understand that that relocation had to happen as a result of the security measures that were in place to make sure that people like you and I and everyone else were safe, Alicia.
Right.
But obviously, there's no denying that COVID-19 affected people and their jobs. Do you know anyone who personally lost a job?
Yes, I do. Connected with the tourism industry. Yes, and she is in a different niche right now. I think it's actually catering. So she moved from the tourism industry into catering. But before I continue, the food truck vendors, there are now several locations where they can actually do their trade. Yeah. There's one close to the square. I'm not sure, Independence Square. I'm not sure which side. And there's an area as well up by the Paul Southwell Industrial Park.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so there are a few opportunities for them to take their trucks to the new location and do what they have to do. Absolutely. So maybe we can even look at some of the jobs that are presently available.
Yeah. If you're out there and you're hunting for jobs, well, why not?
Yeah. So we have, for instance, there is the Paradise Beach in Nevis.
So tourism again.
Tourism related, yes. And we have 4 jobs there. We have an administrative assistant. We have prep or stewards for the kitchen. We have servers or beach bartenders, maintenance, and a maintenance engineer.
Awesome.
Right. So those of you over on the island of Nevis, viewers, you can look towards the Paradise Beach, Nevis, because there are some opportunities available for you there.
And again, the job hunt continues because we're looking at Ramada Resort St. Kitts. These are full-time jobs, actually. So they're looking for a baker, restaurant servers, bar backs, executive chef, kitchen steward, a gardener, cook, warehouse operator, and house operations manager. So this is a lot of jobs coming from these 2 places alone. Yep. And we're not done yet, are we, Alicia?
No, and you see, the Ramada Hotel, it's down on the western side. Am I correct? Down close to St. Paul's?
Well, yes. Yeah, you are. We're not right up there yet, so yes.
Yeah, close to St. Paul's. And it's a great location, I find, because it's out of the city center. It's down in the countryside, and that's an area that's cool. I think you can actually look over and see Sabre.
Yes, you can. Yes, you
from
can.
there, and it's so, it's private, intimate area, and it also means that persons in that community in particular
Good point.
can apply for jobs there.
Without needing to come to the urban areas. Excellent point, Alicia.
Without needing to come to Bastia. Okay, we also have Shabazz Soul Food and Bar, and they're looking for a bartender, a waiter or waitress, and a chef or cook. So you see, this one, it's also restaurant-y kind of thing. So those of you with experience in any of those areas, feel free to go and apply at Shabazz Soul Food and Bar.
And last but by no means least on the list, we have Skelec, St. Kitts Electricity Company, right? Skelec. So 2 vacancies are there. One is for the electrical power systems engineer, and the other is for the mechanical maintenance engineer. So these posts need to be filled at Skelec. Job hunt. You're hunting for jobs? Why don't we go through this list again? We've got Paradise Beach, Ramada Resort, St. Kitts. We also have Shabazz Soul Food and Bar, and Skelec. So what do we say to our viewers? How do they know how to get in touch with these places, or what jobs are available, Alicia?
Well, you can do that by contacting the Department of Labor at 467-2068 extension 2068, or 467-1290, or visit the Facebook page, Vacancies in St. Kitts and Nevis. So this is actually a service that is provided by the Department of Labor right here in St. Kitts.
And it's a very good service. So again, those of you who are looking for jobs, please, if you are looking for jobs, we've just made that job hunt a little easier for you. There are the numbers to call. The Department of Labor, Alicia said it. Again, 467-2068, extension 1290.
Or 467-1290.
All right.
Right. So do check there out, and we thank you very much, because that brings us to the end of our Talk of the Town. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I coming Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, "You feel it, you feel it?" Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
Let's face it, most parents or guardians don't want to think about their teens having sex, let alone contemplate the possibility that they might get pregnant or get someone pregnant. Teenage pregnancy is a situation that involves female adolescents. A teenage female can be pregnant as early as age 12 or 13, although it is usually 14 and older. The fact that teenagers become pregnant is related to many factors. Here are some tips to decrease teen pregnancy. Teach teenagers comprehensive sex education. Target messages at teen boys, not just girls. Get the whole community involved. Encourage mentoring, parental involvement, and support. This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
You're watching Good Morning SKN with Mimi Armstrong and Jamie Morris, live on Studio 327.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Energy conservation is something that would make our lives a lot less costly. That is, we'd have reduced electricity bills. In the last couple of days, and for the month of December at Good Morning SKN, there's been a lot of discussion about Christmas season and Carnival, as these are two major events for us here in the Federation. Specifically for Christmas, some of us tend to go all out. We shop, we clean, and cook up a storm. And as we say here, many decorate their homes with trees. Others go all out and complete the job with an entire indoor and outdoor decor. These all add to the feeling of the most wonderful time of the year. The photos look incredible, and these certainly draw attention to our spaces, unfortunately. While being a festive season, the month of December can be one of the most costly, specifically in terms of energy consumption. Our guest today, Ms. Patrice Harris, is from the Department of Electricity, or rather, SKELEC. Yes. And here she is going to discuss this with us in terms of the consumption of electricity and share some useful tips that will help us out during this dark season after in terms of our finances.
Dark, but not in terms of life.
No, we won't be back at all.
So welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. It was interesting when I got the call to come and speak about energy conservation, because that means that Skellek will get less money if we conserve more.
Well, good point.
But in any case, we really want our customers to be as responsible as possible in their energy use, because if you don't do that, you end up driving up a bill that is unmanageable at the end of the day. And we recognize that some customers allow their bills to skyrocket and then they're unable to bring down their arrears.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
so that is why we do preach the message of conservation. And particularly during the Christmas season, it is even more challenging. Why is it challenging? Schools are out and the children are at home. They're playing their PS5s, they're opening the refrigerator every 5 minutes.
Right.
You have a Christmas tree with lots of lights strung up outside your homes as well.
Let's stick up in there. So tell us about the extra energy, for example, with decorations. What can we do about something like that in terms of conservation?
Well, I recall from when I was a child and my father would put up his Christmas decorations, and he would put it up just the week of Christmas. And he will turn off the lights maybe at around 10 p.m., but on Christmas Eve, he will let them remain on overnight into Christmas Day. So I know everyone wants to have a nice, grand, beautiful looking home, but we have to be mindful of our energy use as well. As such, I will encourage, keep the decorations in terms of the lights on as close to Christmas as possible, and you don't necessarily have to leave them on all night, because that will really help you.
Things like timers help.
Yes.
Things like timers. What about solar power?
Well,
although I know that's not necessarily advantageous to Skellek, per se. Unfortunately.
Exactly.
Well, even as a company ourselves, we are looking into more renewable sources of generating energy, and solar power is actually one of those areas. This entire stretch that the Kim Collins Highway is on is going to be the home of the largest solar farm in the Caribbean region, and that has broken ground last year, and the work continues up until next year when you see some more predominant work being done. But in terms of solar, what we must recognize is that it's not always a situation where the energy can be stored, so it might not be beneficial in terms of in the evening. I know that there is some technology that allows for that, but not all technology. So that is why our greatest recommendation would be as close to Christmas as possible, not on for a long period of time, and not so much to keep it minimal, but look for the products that do suggest that they are energy efficient.
Okay. So what about year-round now? So that is when we have the extra lights, and, you know, some persons like to decorate and go all out. But what about during the year? Do you have some advice how we can also conserve?
Well, before we get to during the year, during the Christmas period in particular, you will recognize that it is much cooler. So it might not be necessary for you to run your AC overnight or for an extended period throughout the day. You might just want to use a fan. Some people say that it's so cold that they have to pull up their covers and turn the fan off. It feels like they're in North America. So take advantage of that and minimize your energy use based on that. There is also the fact that you're going to have more persons within the household, especially the children. We have to start ingraining in the children from a very early age. Turn off the light when you leave the room. Don't be in the refrigerator every 5 minutes, because that is going to send up mommy and daddy's electricity bill. So these, in terms of the Christmas season, that in particular is something that is of major concern for persons who want to conserve.
Jamie, I like her advice to the parents to speak to the children, but, you know, sometimes we have to do a lot of talking.
Yes, and even children model behavior. So if it is that you, as an adult as well, actually flip your lights off, plug out your appliances, they would recognize that that is what their parents do, and that is what needs to be done.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Harris, and we'll be right back with more Good Morning SKN.
Has anyone ever touched you here, here, or here? Well, these are actually bad touches, not good ones. And so, if anyone ever touches you in these areas or anywhere else that makes you uncomfortable, you must say no, then go and tell. Say it with me. Say no, then go and tell.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with Probation and Child Protection Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Pan American Health Organization.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Back on Good Morning SKN, and we are speaking with the Corporate Communications Manager of Skellett, Ms. Patrice Harris, and we're talking all about what we can do to conserve electricity. Question for you, Ms. Harris. I've known people who say, you know what, in order to keep my electricity bill down, what I do when I leave my house is to unplug effectively all of my appliances, cable boxes, televisions. The only thing that I leave in is the fridge. What are your thoughts on that? Is that something that we could do, potentially?
Well, I am one of those persons who benefit from a very low bill at the end of the month, and that is because I actively don't keep appliances plugged in. I use it and then I plug it out. I don't have air conditions at my home, the water heater for sure. After I use it, I switch it off. And I have recognized that I have been able to recognize energy savings as a result of that. And so that is my advice that I would like to give, just so that the listeners do understand that there is a benefit from using less. And at Skellett, we reward you for using less. Many persons are not aware that once you have, you use less than 200 kilowatt per hours every month, you get a 50% reduction on your bill.
No, I was not aware of that.
Yes, and that is why sometimes you might get a bill for $75 and another month you get it for $150, and that's because you might have used 201. So you get your full price, you get your full bill, plus the additional for the extra 1 unit that you use. And so when you use less, you actively pay less, and you are rewarded for that.
That's wonderful. I did not know that.
Look at your bill. When you get your bill, you can see the usage. If it's 200 or below, you will get a 50% reduction on your bill.
Okay, great. Any other conservation tips for the general time of the year?
I know a lot of persons tend to have lights around their homes. Well, before we speak about the lights, when you're purchasing appliances, older appliances that you might have had from a long, long time ago might not be very energy efficient. And when you're looking at purchasing appliances, you have to look at the efficiency rating of that appliance, because it really does help in terms of bringing your electricity bills down, especially some of the products like the water heaters. We're a tropical island, and many persons tend to have AC units on their homes, and they have 2 and 3 AC units in each room, and they have them running simultaneously, and then they're like, how do I get this high bill? But it's because obviously you're not engaging in energy efficiency and energy conservation at your home. So be really, really mindful about these AC units, because they do drive up the bills, especially if they're not energy efficient. So these are the aspects that we really, really want you to pay attention to.
Okay. So question, some of the appliances will say energy saving. Any other keywords we need to look for on the boxes?
Some of them will also say energy efficient as well.
Energy efficient.
But it's important to sometimes have a conversation with an electrician or anyone who is in that area who might advise you as it relates to the energy efficiency of that particular item.
Okay. So
Sorry. I was saying, she's sharing very good tips with us concerning that. I have a 20-year-old stove. So I think that I'm not really the most energy efficient. That means then that we would have to potentially spend money to save money.
Yes. And that is the case with a lot of the renewable energies as well. They sometimes do have high setup costs. If you were to look at investing in a solar panel right now, the initial overall cost might be really high, but the savings long term will be significant. So you will have to spend money to save money. That's how it's going to work.
That's how it works in most things. So tell us about Skellec's Going Green initiative.
I would have mentioned before that we last year broke ground on the solar farm, the LaCroix solar farm that will be on this Kim Collins Highway. And that is because we recognize that as a Caribbean country, we have to actively be a part of reducing our fossil fuel emissions, especially as we have this fight against climate change.
Absolutely. And
the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, which is the majority shareholder of Skellec, through its partnerships was able to get a foreign investor, the LaCroix company based in Switzerland, for us to be able to have this large solar farm. There are also other initiatives that we do to try to encourage energy conservation, and that is why we recognize the 50% reduction of the bill. That is an incentive for persons to use less. And we're actively engaging in other renewable energy projects rather, so that we can ensure that our energy production is much greener.
Great. That sounds good. And it's commendable coming from a company that makes money from our use of electricity. Imagine that. Okay. Now, we just spoke about the incentives. So several companies are offering discounts and specials for the season. Tell us a bit about what Skellec is offering.
Skellec gives all year round in terms of the gift of power, but particularly for the Christmas season, we do have a few giveaways for our customers next week. We have 5 days of giving, and for customers who make bill payments on the 24th, once they come into our main store on Central Street, they are able to win hams, turkeys, gas vouchers, electricity vouchers, Skellec paraphernalia. We are giving back to some charitable organizations. Earlier this year, we gave $15,000 to the Ministry of Social Development for an elderly project. And so we are always in the power of giving, and that is why we want to give some more. So it's important for you to make your bill payments on time, because that ensures and allows for us as a company to be able to give as much as we reasonably can.
Thank you very much, Ms. Harris, and we wish we had more time, but we will see you, and we will try our best to conserve
energy.
So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Morning SKN. We'll be right back.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
I'm going out tonight. I got a hot date. He older than me, but I don't care. I like what he telling me. He say I look sweet and ting. What? You want me go home with him? Nice. Boy, I wonder if I'm ready for this. I notice he ain't got a condom, but I gonna go ahead, see? He might think me ain't like him or trust him. Plus, this my first time. Nothing gonna happen to me. Lord, how could I let this happen? I ain't ready for no child. Who gonna support me and my child? My man go in jail and mommy and daddy said they ain't gonna help. I all on my own. How could I be so careless? I wish I could go back to that now, but my education on hold. How could I let this happen? Don't let this happen to you. Contact the Department of Gender Affairs to find out about confidential offices and personnel available to answer questions about your sexuality or pre- or postnatal concerns.
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
You're watching Good Morning SKN with Mimi Armstrong and Jamie Morris, live on Studio 327.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN, everyone. Who doesn't love the sound of Sweet Sweet Pan? Some claim that the steel pan is the only music instrument made in the 20th century. And the instrument that has been immortalized in songs, such as by renowned Trinidadian calypsonian David Rudder, when he describes how the pan was created after an old steel drum was beaten into shape to sound out the different music notes. Here in St. Kitts, as part of Sugar Mass activities, we have our national steel band competition, Panorama, which features various steel pan groups in the Federation. EBJ Harmonics winner of the 2020 competition is represented here today by MJ Byron, CEO of EBJ Harmonics. Let's take a moment to welcome you, winner.
Thank you for having me here this
and
morning.
Congratulations for last year.
Thanks.
Didn't get to say that.
Oh, thank you.
I think we're going to view one of your performances, actually, so let's view that.
Right.
All right. So MJ, that looked. Was it exciting, or was it more nerve-wracking?
I have to say excited because nerve-wracking probably maybe 20 years ago, but we've been doing this for a while on bigger stage as well. So for this evolution here of steel band in St. Kitts, it was a bit exciting. We're in cameras, we gone global. That never happened before here. So it shows some level of growth with our art form here.
I love the way you say 20 years ago, because you barely look any older than 20, MJ. So when was the band founded?
Yes, the band was founded February 2015. I would have gone to Trinidad to play steel pan there for Panorama. After experiencing the level of joy and excitement, nerve, that was the first time on the big stage. Right. So I then called my brother. I alone went to Trinidad. So I called my brother back here. We had the school band members playing with us still, called them Sugar Sticks. And I decided, hey guys, let us form our own band now. It is time. So out of that, we started right away. We had a previous band called SKNSO. We were taught by Earl Butch Jones.
Okay, I knew him.
Right. So we then named the band EBJ, Earl Butch Jones, after him, in honor of him.
Ah, okay.
Yes. So that was the actual start of this great steel orchestra here.
Okay.
Interesting name.
Yes.
Right, so how many members are presently in the group?
Right now we have 25, 26 members.
Okay, and maybe you could tell us a bit about the different types of pan, because I think there would be some that are bass and et cetera, et cetera. What are the different types of pan?
Well, in our band, we have the 6 bass, we have the triple cello, we have guitar, that's double guitar we call them, we have double second, we have double tenor, single tenor, and of course the percussions.
Okay.
There's a small set compared to what you see in Trinidad. We have a lot, like 10, 15.
But we still get the sweet sound.
And we still get the sweet sound.
Right.
Yeah,
and viewers, you need to stay tuned because we'll be hearing some live pan music a little later in the show. That's correct, right,
Yes.
MJ?
Yeah, that is correct.
Right. So for now we're talking, but look forward to that. So don't go anywhere. So.
Yes, you mentioned Boots, and I actually have this memory. You're going through the steel pan, and he taught me to play, but I'm not a good player. I played for an event. So when you were naming all of the pans, I'm like, well, which one did I play? But it's so interesting that you named it after him. I think that's honorable. That's an honorable thing to do. What's the recruiting process like for your group?
Well, interestingly, about 3 years ago, if my memory is so correct, 3 years ago, we started what we call the School of Pan, EBJ Harmonics School of Pan, where we teach persons as young as 6 and as old as you feel young.
I like that.
And you're able to learn and play, because the art form don't stop at any age. However, we would like to start earlier, but in St. Kitts, we kind of short our stands and not that low, where you have in Trinidad persons, or in other countries, persons starting at age 3.
Wow.
But we will get there, everything as we learn how to deal with the younger ones especially, and the different age group and the gaps. You don't want to leave any behind or bring back. But it starts there, you go through a year or some less process, and then you come over into the band, or any band. All right, because EBJ Harmonics is only one. We have like 30 plus persons in one class. Right.
So MJ, we really are enjoying this discussion with you.
Yes.
And don't move, MJ. Viewers, don't move either. After the short commercial back, after the short commercial, we'll be right back with more on steel pan in St. Kitts and Nevis.
It's been 6 months now and Glenn hasn't been working. His attitude has completely changed and he's been leaving the house every day for hours and liming with his friends and coming home drunk and causing confusion.
Gloria, this is what you cook today? This is not enough food for a big man like me.
But Glenn, it's been 6 months now. You haven't given me any money to shop for food.
Okay, so what you want me to do if my boss ain't called me out for work as yet?
Look for a different job now.
What you just said to me?
Get a next job.
What?
Help! Let me
Let
go!
go what? Yeah, let's see what we happening. Let go what? Watch your mouth with me now.
The weekend mom and dad fight. When are they going to stop?
Domestic violence is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, economical, and psychological. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are having a very engaging discussion with the CEO of EBJ Harmonics, Mr. MJ Byron. MJ, in our last segment, you were speaking of training the younger generation to play the pan. Right. And I got curious about how young you were when you started to play and whether you are able to transfer your experiences into now teaching the younger among us.
Right. So, Jamie, I started at age 5. So the experience, I can speak about it for time, but it's better shown, and I think I've been doing that enough. I have a wide age range under me coming up, and even persons above me that I teach now. So that experience in itself has been an amazing one. Magical, because you have some persons catching on in 3 months and joining the EBJ Harmonics for Panorama.
Alicia, there's
That's
hope.
commendable indeed. Viewers, you're going to see us in a little bit.
Yes.
Wait, let's hope we don't embarrass ourselves. He did say that, you know, some persons get it as quickly as 3 months. So does this mean that music is always something that I used to take piano at one point, that we are told that we should practice every day. Is that across the board?
That is across the board, yeah. With any instrument, it's like maths. You know?
Right.
Yeah, you have to practice to get better. You don't get perfect. You just make the skills better and permanent. I always like to say that things don't be perfect. You just be permanent. So you practice to be permanent.
So how easy is it to secure a personal pan then? Or do you practice on something else? Because I know once ago pans were expensive. Is that still the case today?
It still is probably more expensive now, where you have one pan costing, well, a single tenor costing $1,002 US. Wow. And that has nothing to do with shipping.
Right.
Right. So there's a heavy cost and a heavy investment into having your own steel pan. You must love it to make that kind of investment.
Yes.
So we know with a band of 20-something persons, we know the kind of costs around it and investments being made. So to have a personal pan of yourself, of course, go after it if you love it, if you want to learn. But don't let it rest down in your house. It's hard less than $1,002 US.
Yes, especially now.
Right.
So at this time of the year, when EBJ and other pan groups are practicing, rehearsing for the competition, the band houses, I suppose, would remain open for, or they make arrangements with their band leaders in order to get to practice.
Well,
if you don't have a personal pan.
Right, we have a practice time, we have a practice schedule. Normally, we practice hard. So we get the music within that practice time. If persons want to have extra practice, they will go home with the pan. And that is fine. Because at the end of the day, it benefits the band.
That's nice.
Right. Yeah, so we spend quite a bit of time in practice and doing what we have to do, focusing on what we have to do. Especially now Panorama is coming up. We are tunnel vision into Saturday, Saturday's event.
Okay, great. So your band was at the opening of Carnival this year. Tell us a bit about that performance, the song, and if you thought it came off well.
Right, so we had two parts to that performance. We had one where they had the steel pan around the neck. That was to show where we came from. Where we were as a steel pan fraternity, and gone on to the two on the stands. So that's to show, they evolved from the strap to on stands. And if we had more time, we would have probably gone on a trailer. But that was the whole concept around that performance. To get persons, hey, 50 years ago, steel pan was around the neck, jamming. Everybody got their own pan. Now we are a collective body on stands, on a trailer or whatever. The songs chosen, we had Man Gone Man Yeah, In Your Macazimo. That was again a long time song that they used to play. The second aspect, we had Area Code, which is a modern song by Sugar Band. So we had the two
range, yes.
Right. So that was the entire concept, the reason for choosing the songs that we chose.
It's a personal question.
Sure.
The strap, not for him. The strap, no. The strap around the neck must have been heavy because, well, not the strap, but the pan, because it went around and it used to be a full-size pan. So how did they deal with that in those days?
I wish I could answer you. I wish I can. Just experiencing that for a little moment, doing it myself. I was like, oh, these people do this for hours, going around town, doing the same laps that we do now, just for hours. And that time, steel pan used to be the thing. So
if you want to pay homage to the past, that's one of the things that you can do since we're opening up, and then you'll be able to tell us.
Right. So it's straining on the neck. I would assume they had sponge or whatever on the neck. But doing that for hours, I commend them for that. I won't.
Thank you very much, MJ, and we are looking forward to. Is it you who is going to perform, or is it another band member?
I am going to perform.
Wonderful. So,
Awesome.
Jamie, that's something for us and for our viewers to look forward to.
Coming up. More Good Morning SKN right after this. Stay tuned, everyone.
The St. Kitts Diabetes Association wants to encourage you to remember the association's gospel, abbreviated TEAM, in order to maintain good control of your diabetes. T, you must test your blood sugar regularly. E, you must eat right with decent quantities of vegetables and fruits and eliminate sugary products. E, you must exercise frequently, at least 4 to 6 times weekly for 30 minutes or more each time. And M, you must take your medication as prescribed by your healthcare provider. If you follow this gospel, you will significantly reduce your chances of encountering the dreaded complications associated with poor control of diabetes, namely kidney failure, blindness, heart disease, stroke, and amputations. Visit your healthcare provider regularly to ensure good control of your diabetes and to access early intervention in case of any unexpected complications. Come and join the St. Kitts Diabetes Association and add your voice and your efforts to those working to ease the burden of persons living with diabetes. Thank you.
Hey, my friend, what going on?
Not a thing. I just here cooling under this tree, about to eat a mango or two.
Where you get mango from all now?
Boy, Auntie Rose bring me some mango this morning.
Oh, gosh. What you hit me for?
You give me something to put on?
Girl, you can't just come tempting me with these juicy round pally mangoes and expect me not to want some.
Just because something looks appealing and you want it, doesn't mean you are entitled to it and that you should touch or take it. Your mother ain't teach you manners. Ask for consent first before you touch up the mango them.
But why ask? And if it's dear, it's dear. Just take it. Why ask?
Simple. If it is mine and you ain't asked for it, it is called, wait for it, stealing.
That's true. My bad. Okay. May I please have some mangoes?
I don't know. After that spectacle, I ain't sure I want to give you any.
You see that? But I ask.
Just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give. It is still my mangoes.
So what you tell me ask for then?
Because consent is everything. Had you asked first, I would have been more inclined to give you one. And just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give you. You got it?
Okay, I got it. No, may I please have some mangoes?
Only because you're my friend and I like you. But that still don't mean you're entitled to it.
Okay, I get it.
Good. Don't leave your mango skin on the ground, eh?
If you understand the importance of asking for someone's consent for a mango, then it shouldn't be too hard to understand consent when it comes to sex. The power of consent is everything. Ask first. If you or a friend has been sexually assaulted, please call 465-5000 for the Counseling Center.
This message was brought to you by No Judgment SKN and sponsored by the Basic Needs Trust Fund, the Department of Gender Affairs, and the Caribbean Development Bank.
And we're back with Good Morning SKN. And guess what, everyone? It's time for our Christmas giveaway. 'Tis indeed, Alicia, the season of giving. Yesterday, our winners were Lufkin Foster and Shariena Henry. So congratulations to both of you. And for those of you who don't know how to participate, all you have to do is follow us on our Facebook and Instagram pages at Studio 327 INC. That's Studio 327 Inc. All the details are posted there. Now it's time for a giveaway yet again, and here we've partnered with Shariena Mills of Necessary Beauty.
Welcome, Shariena.
Welcome, Shariena.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So tell us about Necessary Beauty and how it started.
It started as me being an economist and realizing that that wasn't what I wanted to do. So I went to university like you're supposed to do, and then one day I'm sitting at my desk and realized that I have a passion in the beauty industry, so why not follow that? And at the ripe age of 29, I decided to go back to school and get certified, and I realized there was a need for women of color especially, because I know when I was learning about beauty and how to look after my skin, there weren't much options, so I realized there was a need for women of color in particular to have somebody out there, especially in the Caribbean, to say this is what you should do, this is what works for you, this is what you can find. And I started with a blog. Mm-hmm. And then from that blog, I decided to basically come back to St. Kitts and share my knowledge. So I'm actually a cosmetology instructor also.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting that you mentioned women in the Caribbean in particular, because, you know, our climate sometimes is hot and humid.
Yes.
And so we tend to sweat, we tend to, our pores are oily, etc.
Yes, we get left out a lot when it comes to products, men and women in particular, especially in the Caribbean. So you find a lot of things that work in colder climates or cooler climates don't necessarily work here. And a lot of things that they make for certain skin types necessarily don't work here. So there's a niche right now, there's a need, especially in 2021, imagine, for products that actually cater to women and men in the Caribbean. So I'm actually working on that also.
Oh, that's incredible. I've been dying to ask this question, Alicia, so here we go.
Yes.
Is beauty necessary? Why the name?
Inside and out. It is necessary inside and out. My job is not so much to make people feel beautiful, because you already are. It's just to make you feel like your beauty comes from within, and everybody's noticing it now. Right? Because a lot of women, especially, we have bad days. We have bad hair days, we have bad skin days. I mean, men too, right? And especially now with COVID, you go through a lot of transitions with moods and stuff. So my job is just to remind you that it's already there and it's necessary that you remember that. Because a lot of us forget that we have nice big brown eyes and beautiful brown skin and juicy lips that people pay money right now for, and high cheekbones. We forget that. So it's my job to bring that out and remind you.
Great that you mentioned men as well. From the time that you have started until now, have men been picking up in terms of realizing that they can also accentuate their features?
Not so much in makeup, but skincare, it's a big field right now for men, because they are now realizing they need self-care too. Right? Men work hard. They like to be pampered. Men love to be pampered. One thing I've noticed in the industry.
Why are you looking at me?
That's true. That is true. Guys like to be pampered more so than females. You'd notice, right, in the industry. So what I've done is I actually have something called a beard show that it's catering to men. I didn't want to call it a facial because men, when they hear facial, they go like, that's so girly,
exactly.
right? So a beard show is for men to get their skin looked after, and if they have beards, because beards are a big thing now, to look after your beard and teach you about skincare and all that, and what products work for you, because a lot of men get left out, and there's no reason for it.
Okay, so you're going to get yourself a beard
Yeah,
I feel included, finally.
Okay, all right, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so which aspect of this field interests you the most?
Skincare and makeup, because that's what I studied in school. So I can do everything, believe it or not. I'm not a nail person. I do my nails once a year, right? And I do my hair whenever I have to, right? But skincare and makeup, believe it or not, when I got here to St. Kitts, people were like, can you make money off of doing makeup professionally? I was like, why not?
Okay.
And here we are with the market full of new makeup artists, right? So you find skincare and makeup are big. Hair is also big here, but for me, it's just those two.
Right. So, Shariena, we have to ask you to pause. Viewers, we'll be right back with more from Shariena because we'll also have a giveaway. So stay tuned.
Hey, my friend, what about?
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I coming Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
Welcome back, viewers, to Good Morning SKN. You're with Jamie and Alicia, and we also have a special giveaway that will be given to you by Shariena Mills of Necessary Beauty. Shariena, what are you going to give our viewers today?
Well, I have a sub-brand called Your Beauty, so it's basically customized beauty products for clients who want to start into beauty and don't know what to get, because I always get, what should I buy, what should I get? So you can have a makeup kit, you can have a skincare kit, or you can have a mix. And I also cater to men, so if men want to get started in skincare.
So inclusive today.
Right? Yes. So this is a sub-brand, and it's called Your Beauty, and this is our beauty box. So this box, there are different sizes and different costs, and this is one of our boxes, and this is a mixed box. So it's mixed with skincare and makeup items. And then this is our Christmas beauty bag. So this is our little Christmas beauty bag. And you can get one, teenagers especially, because teenagers, when we had our moms, we didn't really know what to do, right? Blue soap, water, warm water,
or
right?
Pons.
Pons. You put Pons all over your face, but we've come a long way.
Yeah.
So this is a starter kit that you can get for your little teen. My daughter's 9. I teach her about skincare. It's never too early, right? And then you can also gift any loved one a gift card for the season for any service that I provide. So this is one of our gift cards. You can get for multiple services. You can do for one service, and one of your lucky viewers will get to win a beauty box and a gift card.
Whoa.
Awesome.
Yeah, so Jamie, we actually have our winners.
Oh, we have
for
our winners
today. So would you like to tell our viewers who won?
All right, so our winners for today, drum roll please.
Drum roll.
Cecilia Barron France is winner number 1.
Yay!
Yay, Cecilia!
Congratulations, Cecilia. Winner number 2 is Neil Wilkin Boone.
Yay, Neil!
So congratulations.
I know Neil.
So how can they collect their prizes?
Right here at the studio.
So,
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
So you're leaving
So
them
you
with us
can
then.
come right here, and we're located on the Kim Collins Highway. We're in the Sugars building, and you just have to come up one flight of stairs, and we'll be right there ready to give you your prizes.
But don't take too long because I don't want to be tempted.
I can hook you up, so don't worry. We'll hook
Okay,
you
you
up.
don't have to worry, Jamie.
No worries at all.
Got you covered. Right.
So we've been talking with Shariena Mills of Necessary Beauty. Thank you so much for stopping by the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, Shariena.
Beauty's necessary. We'll be back right after this. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
I going out tonight. I got a hot date. He older than me, but I don't care. I like what he telling me. He say I look sweet and ting. What? You want me go home with him? Nice. Boy, I wonder if I'm ready for this. I notice he ain't got a condom, but I gonna go ahead, see? He might think me ain't like him or trust him. Plus, this my first time. Nothing gonna happen to me. Lord, how could I let this happen? I ain't ready for no child. Who gonna support me and my child? My man gone jail and mommy and daddy said they ain't gonna help. I all on my own. How could I be so careless? I wish I could go back to that now. But my education on hold. How could I let this happen? Don't let this happen to you. Contact the Department of Gender Affairs to find out about confidential offices and personnel available to answer questions about your sexuality or pre- or postnatal concerns.
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Do you need your laundry or dry cleaning picked up and delivered? Well, Express Laundry has got you covered. We will pick up and deliver your laundry or dry cleaning to and from our partner laundromat fast and easy. Call or WhatsApp 660-7940 or 661-7717 for details. Express Laundry, bringing laundry and dry cleaning services to your doorstep.
You see that new boy that just joined the school last week? He brought me a chocolate this morning because I showed him the way home from school yesterday.
You like him?
No, he's just my friend. Plus, he is my neighbor. He asked me if we can walk home together for lunch tomorrow, and I told him yes.
I don't like these big boys. They tend to like to touch girls without your consent.
What do you mean by consent?
It's when one person agrees to give permission to another person to do something.
He is cute though.
Guys, you won't believe what happened the other day with the new boy from school.
What happened?
The other day, while walking home with the new guy, he followed me into my house. I thought it was okay because he seemed friendly and respectful. So I turned on the TV and offered him a soda. We sat in the chair together. Then he leaned over and kissed me. I was so shocked I sat up straight and asked him why he did that. He said he thought I liked him. I told him not in that way.
What? Girl, you should have never allowed him inside your parents' home.
My parents will be very angry if they meet any boys in our home plus kissing me.
Guys, We don't need to be burdened down with teen pregnancy and relationship problems at this time. Boys need to understand that girls are not sex objects.
Remember, you have the right to consent to every activity being performed, from holding hands to anything more, and to change your mind at any time. If your partner does not respect your wishes, this also is a form of abuse. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. And we have again with us Mr. M.J. Byron from EBJ Harmonics. And on this occasion, he is going to calm us, soothe us, make us feel wonderful with sweet, sweet pan. And viewers, I have to tell you already, I have goosebumps because he has been warming up. So take it away, MJ. Jamie, I'm not going to be in this by myself. Jamie, yes, come up here with me.
All of us should learn.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
So, okay, what's your favorite song? You know me.
Let's do the Christmas theme, so Silver Bells.
City sidewalk, busy sidewalk.
Right.
So, first art and learning Stephen is to grab your sticks, get your sticks, know how to hold the sticks. Can't choke the sticks up here, you got to give the sticks room to play. So I'm going to allow you to hold your sticks.
Wow, it's all coming back to me now.
Feel out the pan. So you've played pan already?
I was watching. I'm a quick study.
He knows what he's talking about.
So I'm going to.
Can I try calypso? Show me a calypso.
Oh.
Or just do anything. I like the little notes on the middle.
Lisa, you're a professional.
Yeah.
Show me I Love Saint Kitts.
Oh, dragging my memory here.
You were doing something like this.
Right, so that's the start of it.
That was not pre-recorded, by the way.
We did not practice that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was dragging my memory. So I do a lot of drilling and teaching now, so not much playing. I'm playing for this panorama though, a double second. So the single tenor is just basically what comes back to mind.
So you want to give us any inside secrets as to what you'll be performing, or you'll leave that
Yeah,
for
no,
later?
sure. We'll be performing Piece of the Road by Speedy Nevis.
Oh.
Yes, popular song in the Federation. So we decided, last year we did something outside of the Federation, so this year we decided to come home. And because it is the 50th anniversary, we decided to bring it home here in St. Kitts. And we're hoping that that song will bring it home for us at EBJ Harmonics.
So you heard it here first on Good Morning SKN.
Yes. Please to log on. It's the 18th. That's Saturday coming at 8 o'clock online. So I am looking forward to that experience. And log on to the Carnival page. Let's make this big and global.
Right. So tell us a bit about your teaching. You mentioned that you do a bit of teaching. Is it on the scale like Earl Booth Jones, like only in the summertime, or is it, how regular is your teaching?
Right. The School of Pan is every Saturday.
Okay.
From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We have two separate classes now because of the pandemic.
Right.
But that goes on throughout the year. We take a break now because of the panorama. We have to be really focused and put all our energy into that.
Right.
So that happens. Like I tell you, this year we actually, I think about 3 weeks ago, we decided to take one additional person from School of Pan. She has been playing just short of a year.
Wow. Yeah.
School
So
of
she's
Pan.
a quick learner.
Yeah, and we brought her in because of her skill level. I was like, okay, let's try her out. She actually finished the song in 3 weeks that we've been practicing for 2 months.
So suppose a parent wants to get in contact with you after, to commence after Carnival and everything slows down. How do they do that?
Right, so you can go on our social media pages. We got Facebook, EBJ Harmonics. You can look it up on Facebook. We have our cell numbers, 662-3488. You can get me there and I will put you on to our secretary. Our band is a full organization. We have executive board. As our motto is, we not I alone can't do it.
I like
All right, we have a team working with arrangement team, performance team, creative team, and all that. So we are about we.
Right.
Collectively, it's a collective effort to bring EBJ, and not only EBJ, but the art form to where it is now.
Okay.
I'm content to have you guys talk, and I'm eyeing
Yes.
your other.
Thank you, MJ.
No, I'm eyeing the other one.
But we have to go. MJ, we are really happy that you had you on this morning on Good Morning SKN, and we would like to invite you another time.
Sure. Absolutely.
So viewers, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Good Morning SKN.
Leading us out.
Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Shake. Drop to the ground and take a little cover under a table or strong furniture. Kneel. Bend your head close to your knees. Hold on to a table leg or desk, please. Hands. And your head, protect your neck with your arm. Away from windows, you must understand. If you don't have a shelter to hang on to, remain in a place till the shaking's through now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Drop, cover and hold. Stay in control. Drop, cover and hold. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Wave tsunami, wave tsunami, wave tsunami. Move away from doorways, windows and shelves. Heavy objects could drop. You could damage yourself. Cabinet and bookcases may also fall. Light fixtures and objects mounted on the walls. And if caught outside, find an open space. Debris from buildings may fly in your face. Kneel or sit on the ground. Cover your head and remember every word that I said. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Drop, cover and hold. Stay in control. Drop, cover and hold. Don't panic. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Wave. Tsunami, wave. Tsunami, wave. Tsunami. Drop. Everybody now. Drop. I wanna see you now. Cover your head. Cover your head. Drop. Say everybody now. Tsunami. I want you to put up all your hands. Tsunami. I want you to put up all your flags. Tsunami. Wave. Tsunami. Wave. Tsunami. Do not go home without permission. Stay and wait for help and instructions. Do not go down by the seat to watch the action. Just to talk about what has happened. In science lab, chemicals may drop. Exit only after shaking has stopped. Do not panic, everything will be fine. Don't use the phone line at this time. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Drop, cover and hold. Stay in control. Drop, cover and hold. Don't panic. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Wave. Tsunami. Wave. Tsunami. Wave. Tsunami.
These teen boys nowadays get me so upset. I see these teen girls with their big bellies and you want to tell me y'all couldn't protect her and yourself? Come on. Now don't tell me no stupidness about you feel embarrassed about getting a pack of condoms or asking somebody for one. That ain't nothing to be ashamed about. You should be proud that you are making a wise decision, but you still have to abstain from having sex with someone under the age of consent. If your boys are pressuring you to have sex and you don't want to, then don't. You are in charge of your life, not them. I heard another one saying it's sweeter without a condom. But my granny always told me, no glove, no love. So let me tell you something. It's sweeter to have money in your pockets and not have to support a child at that young age. Before I say anything else, the best way to prevent teenage pregnancy is to abstain. In other words, no do it. Let me talk to the big men troubling underage girls.
Why you sleeping with your daughter? You not live clean. Your girl at 16 and your daughter at 13. Two girl a look me, but me know in that. Big man no deal with back pan back.
You understand where I'm coming from, right?
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
It's been 6 months now and Glenn hasn't been working. His attitude has completely changed and he's been leaving the house every day for hours and liming with his friends and coming home drunk and causing confusion.
Gloria, this is what you cook today? This is not enough food for a big man like me.
But Glenn, it's been 6 months now. You haven't given me any money to shop for food.
Okay, so what you want me to do if my boss ain't call me out for work as yet?
Look for a different job now.
What you just said to me?
Get a next job.
What?
Help! Let me go!
Let go what? Yeah, let's see what really happen. Let go what? Watch your mouth with me, you know.
Every day mom and dad fight. When are they going to stop?
Domestic violence is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, economical, and psychological. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492. Special Victims Unit 662-7077. Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
You're watching Good Morning SKN with Mimi Armstrong and Jamie Morris, live on Studio 327.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. I think we should have the trailer of 1 Year Off. Do we have that loaded?
I could always visit you in Edinburgh.
But I love our sexy Notting Hill weekends.
My friends say you've got another woman back home and 3 kids named Jock.
That is not true.
It's happened again. What? I need wisdom and wine and chocolate. It's clear.
Oh! What's the guy done this time?
Well, this is clearly all my fault. What did I do wrong?
Darling, be like me. Take a vow of celibacy.
Ooh.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt.
My biological father died.
I inherited his estate.
So, my dear friends, I'm asking you to go on a little adventure with me.
This is Fishy Beach, and it's all yours now, Ben.
She's too young for me.
Oh, you're thinking of falling for that tall, impossibly good-looking man with the perfect arse, aren't you?
No, definitely not. Not interested at all. I'm just here to focus on me.
Okay, now how many times have we heard that? So, you and Prince Harry.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, come on.
What would you say about staying here?
To 1 year off.
Aren't you going to kiss me? What if we open a wedding business?
Now we have to find someone who wants to get married.
We are open for business.
Oh my god, this looks so amazing, you guys! In the spirit, I was going to dip in the sauce a little bit.
Hello? No, I can't hear you. Someone seems to be having an orgasm over lunch.
So good. So yummy.
About to go viral.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN, and what you just saw is the trailer of 1 Year Off, an MSR production. So you might be familiar with the name MSR Media, a boutique film and television production company based in York, England. Recently, it was announced that MSR will be producing a new film in St. Kitts. And if you were not familiar with that story, then perhaps you would have heard of their work on Nevis. MSR Media has undertaken commercially viable film and television projects with very high production values, bankable lead actors, yet with economically sound budgets. Today, we welcome MSR producer Phillippe Martinez. Mr. Martinez, welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Thank you, and congratulations on your show. It's a wonderful thing for the country.
Thank you so very much, sir. So we just saw your trailer, 1 Year Off. Can you tell us what we saw in that trailer?
Well, it's a romantic comedy about a few people, a group of friends. They've been friends for years, and one of them finds out his heritage, and he grew up without knowing who his father was, and at the death of his father, he received a letter from a lawyer telling him that his father was from Nevis. So he invites all his friends to come to Nevis to help him, in this important moment of his life. And when they arrive on the island, they are submerged by the beauty of the island and its history. And they decided to take 1 year off and stay there and start a brand new life.
Very interesting. And we noted in that a group of friends eventually decided that they would start a wedding business. So we know as a tropical island that that's indeed some of the things that we do. So what evolves in terms of that wedding business?
I think that, when you live in big cities, sometimes you miss the essential. You miss that life could be more simple. Life could be more authentic. And that's what that movie is about. It's about finding yourself and finding what you really want in life. Let me give you a specific example. People that live in a big building in New York or in London, most of the time they don't know the person living the floor above or the floor below, or sometimes even the door next to them. Here in Nevis or in St. Kitts, you know most of the people. And when I drive around Nevis with my car, everybody waves at me, everybody say hello, how are you, Phillippe? So it's a completely different. It's more of a village feeling, and that puts you in a different set of mind because you think community and how to improve the life of the community, and therefore you're improving your life.
Mr. Martinez, is that what drew you to Nevis? Drew you to St. Kitts and Nevis for this movie?
Well, initially, as you know, the world is in a pandemic for 2 years now, and we produce 6 movies a year. And we knew that in England, because we're based in the US and in England, MSR Media, we realized that we will have a tough time to make 5 or 6 movies a year in the middle of the pandemic. So we looked at the places in the world where the pandemic was under control. And thanks to the good job that the task force that did in St. Kitts and Nevis, we say, okay, why don't we go to St. Kitts and Nevis and let's try to see one movie and see if it works. And we did. We came with about 40 people from the UK and the US. We hired a lot of people here locally, and we did the first film 1 year off. And then in the last 10 months, we've already shot 4 movies. We finished a film called Christmas in the Caribbean with Elizabeth Hurley last week in St. Kitts.
Okay, that's good. So we know that the movie process involves different levels, different areas. We have from the time there is a call for actors, the auditions, the shooting, the editing. From start to finish, about how long does it take for one of these movies to be produced?
Well, every movie has a different life. Some movie takes 10 years to happen. But from the moment we start a project, from the writing to the time that it's on the air, and all our movies goes on Netflix or Amazon or Lionsgate or Screen Media, that takes us about 14 months from the moment we start working on the screenplay to the movie to be out and released, which is very, very fast.
Okay, great.
Has a release date been set yet, Mr. Martinez, for 1 year off? And if so, will
1
it
year
be?
off?
Yes.
Actually, we did a movie in June called A Week in Paradise, that's with Malin Ackerman, and that's going to be released in the US in February. We did a movie called As Salient, that's going to be released in the US in March. 1 year off is going to be released, I believe, in September.
Okay, sounds good. So, in terms of that movie, we see that the friends, they go to this resort. We see several characters. In terms of your call for actors that took place for your several movies in St. Kitts and Nevis, do you see any potential in terms of local actors who may be able to make it onto that big screen?
We have, and we started an acting academy when we started 1 year off to train local actors. So actually, in 1 year off, we have 3 local actors that have really very interesting roles. And on every movie that we make, we have included speaking parts of local actors.
Okay. So what about the technical aspect as well? We would also assume that locals would have been interviewed for the technical jobs, filming, editing, etc.?
Absolutely. And I can tell you that more than 50% of the crew is actually composed of local film crew. The first movie, 1 year off, it was their first movie, so it was a little bit challenging. But now that they've done 4 movies already, not only we have more than 50% of the crew composed of local people, but on top of that, some became heads of department. Can tell you the example of Vaughan, who's the head of production design department, which means that he's in charge of sure that all the sets are chosen and perfect for the vision of the director.
Mm-hmm. And Jamie, we have to commend them for that,
Absolutely.
including our local community.
Thank you so much, Mr. Martinez. So what's next for MSR and St. Kitts and Nevis?
Well, what's next is that in order for MSR to keep creating jobs and investing in St. Kitts and Nevis, we have to see a long-term plan. You see, right now, there is no infrastructure. We came a little bit as pioneer. We brought our equipment. We brought qualified crew. We've trained and hired local people. But in order to make more movies, bigger movies, and also to attract other friends, producers from Hollywood, to discover this beautiful country, we need infrastructure. So we are right now discussing with the government to possibly set up a real film infrastructure and building a film studio and everything that goes around the film studio, as well as a world-class music studio.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martinez. That is something we are definitely looking forward to, further collaboration with MSR. And thank you for taking part in our interview today.
It was truly an honor to meet you, sir. Thank you so much for being so gracious.
Yes. It's an honor. Thank you. It's an honor to meet you as well, and good luck for the show.
Thank you.
All the best with MSR Media.
Yes.
Alicia.
So viewers, we had a very important interview with Phillippe Martinez from MSR Productions, and we thank you, and we would like you to stay tuned for more Good Morning SKN.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Has anyone ever touched you here, here, or here? Well, these are actually bad touches, not good ones. And so, if anyone ever touches you in these areas or anywhere else that makes you uncomfortable, you must say no, then go and tell. Say it with me. Say no, then go and tell.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with Probation and Child Protection Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Pan American Health Organization.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Let's face it, most parents or guardians don't want to think about their teens having sex, let alone contemplate the possibility that they might get pregnant or get someone pregnant. Teenage pregnancy is a situation that involves female adolescents. A teenage female can be pregnant as early as age 12 or 13, although it is usually 14 and older. The fact that teenagers become pregnant is related to many factors. Here are some tips to decrease teen pregnancy. Teach teenagers comprehensive sex education. Target messages at teen boys, not just girls. Get the whole community involved. Encourage mentoring, parental involvement, and support. This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
It's hump day, everybody. Jamie, how does the time fly?
It does.
These days, it seems every day runs into one. There's Monday, Wednesday, and then Monday again. Weekends are almost a thing of the past. Wednesday, yet, is still the middle. That's why we call it hump day. We're getting over the week and going towards the weekend. There are many ways you can do this. You can play music, dance, just chill, or just wait it out. On Good Morning SKN, we like to engage in a friendly rivalry.
Yeah, we do that so well.
Oh my, so on my day to be guest host, I actually got the chance to do that as well, compete with you.
We're going to be rivals.
Jamie said that Mimi told me that you cheat.
Well, she'd say that, but the public knows differently, so hey.
Well, let's see. So today, we'll challenge each other with a word game. I am going to read the rules for you.
Yes, please do.
We start a conversation with each other, and the first word of the sentence would start with the following letter of the alphabet. So if I start with A, my first sentence has to start with the letter A, and your
I'm going to do B.
Responding sentence, yes.
And we keep going
and we keep going until
we complete it, or one of us does the
Right.
okay, let's go.
Okay. So we can, Jamie, do you think we can do animals today?
Yeah.
Okay. So I will start with an A word, and it doesn't have to be limited to animals, but I like animals. So let's start. Okay. So armadillos are those type of animals that when they are scared, they can roll up into a ball. Are you familiar with that? They have this kind of little scrunchy thing on their back that curves them over.
Barracudas are actually my favorite animals, so no.
Cats are my favorite animal because they're nice and furry and soft.
Dogs are the better ones.
But elephants can trample dogs very easily.
Foxes run faster than elephants.
Giraffes, I love them for that beautiful long neck that allows them to reach the leaves in the trees.
Hyenas love to laugh.
Iguanas, sometimes they look a bit scary, but I think they're gentle lizards.
Jaguars are a type of cat that run really fast.
Kangaroos hop faster.
And Lexus is an animal type of car.
Llamas. See, I'm already winning. Okay, and mice, they are the most annoying creatures when they get into your house.
I got nothing. Animals with an I got nothing, Alicia. That's two.
Okay,
So I'm over two here.
I'm trying to think of an animal. No, I can't think of an animal. I'm just looking at it, get and then.
Marlin. I go. Marlin, I'll bring it back. Marlin, type of fish.
Why did you give me that? N. You skip back.
Oh, M,
I did
N.
M.
Yeah.
So you were in.
Okay, I lost. Alicia, we're almost out of time here. So again, apparently my losing streak is continuing, regardless of who my co-host is. You guys out there need to send me some luck by following our social media stream. All right? So we'll be back for more right after this. Good job, Alicia.
I going out tonight. I got a hot date. He older than me, but I don't care. I like what he telling me. He say I look sweet and ting. What? You want me go home with him? Nice. Boy, I wonder if I'm ready for this. I notice he ain't got a condom, but I gonna go ahead, see? He might think me ain't like him or trust him. Plus, this my first time. Nothing gonna happen to me. Lord, how could I let this happen? I ain't ready for no child. Who can support me and my child? My man gone jail and mommy and daddy said they ain't gonna help. I all on my own. How could I be so careless? I wish I could go back to that now. But my education on hold. How could I let this happen? Don't let this happen to you. Contact the Department of Gender Affairs to find out about confidential offices and personnel available to answer questions about your sexuality or pre- or postnatal concerns.
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Back with Good Morning SKN. I blanked out for a second after that segment, Alicia.
Back. Yeah, because I won.
Well, you know, congratulations. Congratulations. Okay, we'll see how long that streak lasts.
I'll have to tell Jamie. I mean,
You see, I'm not the only one who's forgetting.
Are winning.
Absolutely. All right, so here's our final segment on Good Morning SKN, and we're about to find out and discuss what's happening. So, Alicia, what's happening?
Well, we first have, Folklore Avenue is one of the things that are happening, and I'm not certain where they're having it this year, but customarily, what they do is they would block off a certain segment of the street last year, and it used to be 4th Street, but I'm not certain where it's not being done this time. And what they do is they have all of the cultural performers. And I think you recall speaking to Mr. Stanley Franks.
Yes.
And he explains some of the cultural performers that we have here in St. Kitts and Nevis. So if you go downtown, you'll find masquerades, you'll find clowns, you'll find persons playing the fife, all of those good, nice cultural music.
Awesome.
And that's something I really enjoy.
Do you play?
No.
I know you said you played the piano in the earlier segment.
I did. When I was younger, I played the piano. But that is something that we will feature on Good Morning SKN, the instruments, at least one instrument, one cultural instrument we're going to feature for you, the fife.
The fife. Are you going to play that?
Or
maybe
I tried,
will.
but you see, this is the thing. You got me to play pan
That's true.
with MJ, so more than likely Mimi is going to play the fife.
All
so
right.
we'll see. So
my winning
viewers,
streak will be back.
You'll have to stay tuned to find out about that. I think there's also something else at the top.
Yeah, there is a Celebrate SKN's Christmas decorating contest. So be merry, be bright, make your place delight. So they're inviting submissions, by the way. So let's see what this reads. You're invited to submit entries for both outdoor Christmas decorations and business places. So this is what Mimi was telling me about. And when she asked if, because I like to decorate outdoors, if I would be entering this competition. So for those of you who actually like to do that, outdoor and indoor categories available, you are invited to send your photos to the email celebrateskn@gmail.com. And the winners apparently will be announced on December 30th, 2021. So you are again urged to deck your halls for the holidays and enter for a chance to win. So share your photos. It'll be interesting to see who the winner is this time.
Yeah. And then we'll also have a sorrel festival.
Ooh.
And those of you out there who know to make sorrel, kudos to you. Because I think it's kind of a dying art. I'm not sure if the younger generation
possibly
know how to make it. We know how to buy it. I personally know to make sorrel,
You're
but
talking about
we'll
younger
talk about-
generation. About you see that? Okay, there you go. I own it. I don't know how to make it. I buy it.
So it's being done by the St. Kitts Agro Processors in collaboration with the Department of Cooperatives. And they'll be having that fundraiser tomorrow, the 16th of December, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And it takes place at New Pond site. And I'm going to assume that's the area where they now have the food trucks. And they sell agricultural products right there. You can go and you can get your vegetables up at that area. And it's across the field from the Newtown football field. Right.
That's an interesting thing.
So for more information, you can visit the Facebook page of the St. Kitts Agro Processors and check out their sorrel.
Actually, having a sorrel festival is exciting enough. I mean, when we were doing the tasting yesterday with Mother Becky T, I didn't get the sorrel right. Of course, my losing streak is continuing, so I did not get the sorrel right. But it's interesting because I like the idea of having a festival around even one thing. People make things differently, so it'll be interesting to see. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Nevis has a mango festival. So it's good that we are now coming on stream and having our sorrel festival. And for those of you who don't know, sorrel, we get the sorrel. You can, once ago we had to pick there's a little kind of
some wisdom, guys.
There's a little kind of protruding edge on the sorrel fruit.
Yes.
Right? And most of the time sorrel is red, but there is white sorrel as well. Did you know that?
No, absolutely
Because
not.
most of the time we make the drink with the red one. But there is white sorrel. It looks just like the red one, except that it's white.
We get these things here, locally.
Yes.
White sorrel?
Well, I have seen it locally, yes.
Okay.
And it actually, when you set, because what we do, we set it up. When you set it up, it actually has a different taste from the red sorrel.
So here's what I'm going to do now. I've never seen it. So those of you who are watching us, if you know what it is, if you have it, why don't you go to our Facebook page or our Instagram page or wherever you can find Studio 327 INC and post a picture so that I can see what sorrel is like. White sorrel. All right. And in local events, Lisa, we also have, very quickly, Student Appreciation Week at the Monkey Bar. I like the name of that. Student Appreciation Week at the Monkey Bar. So I even love this better. It's Wild and Wednesday at the Monkey Bar, and it's part of their Student Appreciation Week. Everyone can receive a free bottle of wine with every order today, Wednesday, December 15th. So, hey, here you go. Place your order at themonkeybartogo.com, and that is themonkeybartogo.com. Hashtag, here's a hashtag, don't cook, just click.
Do you know where Monkey Bar is?
No.
Well, I'm not certain myself, but I'm thinking that it's somewhere in the Frigate Bay area. Is that the case? Monkey Bar? So viewers, because I'm not familiar with Monkey Bar, Jamie's not familiar with Monkey Bar, here's a challenge to you. You have to inform us where we can go to Monkey Bar to get some of that free bottle of wine. So, Jenny, just to go back on the sorrel, right? When you are...
I wish we could, but that's a conversation we're going to have off air. So Elise is going to educate me, and then I'm going to tell you what she says. Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have right now for
I'm
what's
needing
happening.
more time.
We want to thank you for joining us today for another edition of
Good Morning SKN.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Studio 327 INC. Remember to start your mornings with us from Monday to Friday at 8 a.m. here on Studio 327. For now, I'm Jamie with
Alicia
saying Good morning SKN.
Good morning.
Morning. Good morning.
Good morning, SKN.